So, this is sparking a lot of outrage. Demar Hamlin has been selected as the comeback player of the year by the Pro Football Writers America. So, let me explain this. So, this right here is the Pro Football Writers of America. They went ahead and selected Demar Hamlin as the comeback player of the year. And obviously, listen, at the end of the day, this right here has nothing to do with the actual NFL honors that's coming up on, right before the Super Bowl. But it has sparked so much outrage from a lot of football fans who really do not understand why Demar Hamlin's even in the situation anymore. So, listen. This is, what I'm about to pop up on the screen here, the comeback players currently on the list, okay? Joe Flacco, who obviously went from his couch to potentially could have been, took the Browns to a Super Bowl. I'm going to go pull up Demar Hamlin's stats real fast. Because they're insanely crazy this year. This year, he went sicko mode. Yeah, let me just show you this real fast, his stats. Let me pull this down. This year, right, 2 combined tackles, 2 solo tackles. 0, 0, 0 is everything else. He played 5 games, saw 0 of them. He was a backup, like, pretty much a special teamer. Anyway, so as we were saying, compare that to Joe Flacco, who came off his couch, joined the Cleveland Brownies, took them to the playoffs, and, yeah, he lost in the first round, but still, the Browns would have been a 0 playoff team without Joe Flacco. He went 4-1 with the Browns, had 1,600 yards. He had 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions at 38 years old. To go from a couch guy to now a starting quarterback in the NFL yet again and taking the Browns to a playoff game where, again, I know their defense was great, but it was not going to get them to a playoff game. Just, it was not. Next guy on this list, Demar Hamlin, obviously. Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, the guy that everyone thought going into the season was going to be a trash can R-Us. They thought the Bucs picked him up, and the Bucs were stupid. The Bucs were the laugh of everyone's joke. They were the meme that kept memeing. Because it was like, oh, come on, man. You're going to get Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, instead of accepting the meme, took the Bucs to a 9-8 record, took them to the playoffs, and beat the Philadelphia Eagles, who were at one point considered the best team in football, in the wild card playoff round, and came very close to beating the Detroit Lions in the divisional before would have advanced to the championship versus the San Francisco 49ers. He put up 4,000 yards this season, 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. An absolute phenomenal year for a guy that everyone thought was going to be a nothing burger. Geno Smith, I believe he won Comeback Player of the Year, I think last year, and that was after everyone thought he was a joke, and he came back and decided to be an absolute superstar. Next guy, Matthew Stafford. A team, again, a lot of people thought were just going to be a one-and-done team, this year and do nothing at all. Instead, they shocked the world, and Matthew Stafford went ahead and put up a remarkable 9-6 season where he missed 1 game. Put up 4,000 yards, almost 4,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. Fantastic season, and got to the wild card where he got beat very closely, I mind you, very closely by the Detroit Lions. And the last guy on this list is Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa, at one point, I want to say last year, there was a chance that he was never going to play again because of all his concussions. There was a chance that people thought, you know what, this guy is done. Football is not in his future. Instead, he went ahead and continued to play, took this team, the Dolphins, to 11-6 record, where they lost in the wild card to the Kansas City Chiefs. But he still had a phenomenal year and still put up 4,600 yards, 400 yards away from 5,000 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. Led one of the best campaigns in the NFC East, where the Buffalo Bills collapsed, but then came back to take the division over. As I'm saying this to you guys today, which storyline do you think is the best? Is it Demar Hamlin, who came back from death, defied all odds, and never played an effing football game again because he just wasn't good enough to play again? Like, that, not anything about his health or his injury or problem, just really was not that good of a player, ever, even when he was healthy and good. Or these other stories I just listed. This is why the NFL community is so torn between this whole situation. And I understand why the Pro Football Writers of America gave it to Demar Hamlin. Because if you're not a football fan, it gives them a lot of great brownie points with a lot of different organizations, a lot of different movements about, things that go on in life. Okay? I understand that. They're going to get a lot of yes, even though he was not qualified for this award in any way. He did come back from death, and I am praise God that he came back from death. I am so happy he did. I'm so happy he's okay. I was live that night when he, potentially could have left us and left this planet. At the end of the day, that does not change the fact that he did not earn this award. I'm sorry, I hate to say it. I love Demar Hamlin, and I wish him the best for everything. At the end of the day, though, this is why so many people are ticked off and pissed off. Because if you're going to give this award to the guy who went through the most struggles throughout the season but overcame them, Demar Hamlin's struggles ended last offseason, where he came back fully healthy and he was okay to play again. He played in a wild card playoff game, and they went for him 4th down, and he failed on a fake punt. You can't put him in the same perspective as Joseph Flacco, who took the Brownies to the playoffs. You can't put him in the same perspective of Baker Mayfield, where if the Bucs decided to not make Todd Bowles kneecap killer himself, they would have not went for 2, and instead they would have went for 1 and potentially could have won that game. You cannot put him in the same perspective as Matthew Stafford, who a lot of people thought was done, washed up, gonna retire, and defied all odds and came back and went to the playoffs. Or Pfwa, who they thought his career was over because of concussions and thought his life was going to be altered because of all the concussions, and yet he defied all odds and went to the playoffs. Everyone has stipulations and stories that they go through throughout their careers. And I understand what Demar Hamlin went through is absolutely horrendous and awful. Okay? Back in, I forget which year it was. I think it was 2013 or 14. Eric Berry was diagnosed with he was diagnosed with cancer. I forget exactly the correct name of it. He was out for a year. He came back the next year, had a career year. There was a chance during that time, the year before, Eric Berry could have passed away. Luckily, thankfully, thank the Lord of God, he did not. He played the next year, and he played outside of his damn mind. He won Comeback Player of the Year. Why? Not because he came back from cancer, which already, again, is an amazing achievement, an amazing everything. He won that award because, defied all odds, he had the best damn year of his career. Okay? Demar Hamlin, again, what happened to him was a travesty. We are thankful that he's okay and everything is moving in the correct direction for him. This award, though, is not who went through the most personal struggles in their life or awful things in their life. This award is who went from a nothing burger season to a really great season. And in Eric Berry's case, the reason why he won the award was because the year before, he couldn't play the whole year because he was fighting cancer. After that year of fighting cancer, he had a career year. He went from nothing to a career year. That's a comeback player. Comeback player. Just my personal opinion. Again, like I said, I understand that this is going to be one of those things where it is what it is, you know? He's going to get the award. He's going to win the award. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm upset about it. I'm not upset about the fact that he wins the award. But I just really think that it's taken away from other guys that really performed well and really deserve the award a little bit more, in my opinion. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.